Hey guys, welcome back to Reality Check, please. I'm your host, Cassie, and happy Tuesday. We are back with a recap of episode 3 of Perfect Match. We uploaded episodes 2 recap earlier today, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go do that after this episode. Thank you guys again for the continued love and support. I could not do this without you guys. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a reality check. Let me know where you guys are watching from. You have no idea how much a little comment, a like, will push our video out to the YouTube algorithm and get us in front of some new faces, some other faces that maybe love reality TV. So I'd love it if you could help us out with that. But that being said, let's jump right in. This episode was very kind of eye-opening, I think, for a lot of us. We saw it a little messy at the beginning and in the end. We see that Adi and Ollie chose Freddie and Louis to go on a date. They chose Rachel and they chose Alex. I think obviously Alex was Ollie's choice. I think Adi was a little hesitant because she's a gorgeous woman. If you haven't already seen her most recent season on Temptation Island, she did a little too much for me. I'm not going to lie. I feel like she was just trying to stir up as much. She was messy. She was messy. I think that she was trying to stir up the pot a lot. She was involved in a threesome with a guy whose girlfriend was in the other villa. And I get it. You're there to tempt them. You're there to create a connection. However, we saw her kind of switch up once she realized that her and Breon were not going to go anywhere. And she tried to make a connection with another guy. And I just think that she, again, is messy. I don't think that her intentions are pure. I think that she is there just to get screen time. But that's just me. I could be very wrong. That's just because I watched her on Temptation Island. We saw Rachel and Freddie go on a date. They were painting. It was cute. We see Louis and Alex go on like a dinner date, I think. And then in the water, we saw her get a little handsy, which I get it. You can't blame her. She's trying to secure her spot in the villa. She's trying to get this guy to feel some type of way for her to eventually pick her. But once these couples get back into the villa, we see Clayton's jaw drop on the floor when he sees Rachel walk in. I think that they had no idea either of them would even ever be in the same villa again on another reality show. I know this was the first season that Netflix branched out and involved other networks, so I think it was kind of like a 1 in a million chance that they would both be under the same roof again. We saw Clayton and Rachel have a little connection. They ended up choosing each other and matching. I think that Clayton got in her ear a little bit. He kind of mind fucked her, and I didn't really like that because you're cheating her from an experience where she can be on another reality show, get to know like different men. And because you're comfortable with her and because you know her, you want to secure a spot. You see that you're not having a genuine connection with Juliette. He chose to send Juliette home and keep Rachel around, which eventually blew up in his face. However, we'll get there. But I did not appreciate that. So we see Juliette kind of scramble, try to make a connection with other guys, pan over to Louis. She tries to have a conversation with Louis, and Louis is not having that. Louis is trying to decide whether he's going to stick with Sandy or maybe go on a limb and choose Alex. We did see them have a lot of conversations. Sandy was very on her toes the entire night. We saw her have a conversation with Madison in earshot of where Louis and Alex were, and Louis didn't appreciate the things that she was saying. I think that she was just honestly speaking truth. He probably didn't like it. So he continued to kind of do his thing for the rest of the night until the end of the night when we saw Sandy approach and interrupt the conversation between Louis and Juliette, because obviously that conversation was not going to go anywhere. There was no chance that Louis was even going to pick Juliette. I don't even think that she was on his radar realistically, which you can't blame him. I think that she was just trying to find a way in to stay in the villa. You can't really blame her. But Sandy interrupts the conversation. She has a heart to heart with Louis and she says, look, Louis, like, if you think that you're going to have a better connection with her, if you think that if she's your match, then choose her, but I'm gone. And we love a girl who knows her self-worth and is not going to put up with any BS, because that's the type of woman that Louis needs, truthfully. Obviously, Sandy is a beautiful girl. She's a little older than Louis, so she's not here for the BS. She says, it's you or it's nothing. She obviously also hasn't made the time to make a connection with anybody else, but I think that that's fine. You're there to find your perfect match. If she thinks that Louis and her are the perfect match, see it through. So we see that Louis picked her, rightfully so, thank God, because I think that Sandy is a lot more genuine than Alex is. I think Alex would have played the game a lot longer throughout the season if we would have seen her on our screen. She would have honestly flipped on Louis. I'm happy that Louis stayed with Sandy, truthfully. We see the night end. Juliette and Alex go home. The next morning is another compatibility challenge, which is the kissing challenge. This one sparked a lot of controversy amongst the Islanders because Louis surprised me when he says, this is disgusting. I don't kiss just anyone. And I'm like, my guy, like what? Which is crazy because if you saw, I don't know, this is kind of like a little tangent. During Love Island, Vinny from Jersey Shore was doing like stand-up comedy. And he made a reference to how this is also very disgusting, how they're just kissing left and right. And he's like, yeah, like I've banged a lot of girls on Jersey Shore, but I don't kiss him. I guess guys who think like this think that kissing is more intimate. And I get it. I get it. I can see where they're coming from, but you can't say that in the same breath when you're like having sex with all these women. I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. Does that make sense to anybody? Let me know what you guys think. After the kissing challenge, we see Nick give them their scores. It kind of got a little awkward for a lot of them. We saw Lucy give Ollie a 10, and Daniel was not happy about that. In the next episode, we see a little bit more of red flags. However, we'll recap that when that comes. We saw Daniel get like very upset, and it's like, I get it, but the whole point is to be honest and not cheat your way through like these compatibility challenges. We hear Nick say throughout the entire 6 episodes, you are here to explore different connections. It's a lot like at Love Island in that sense, where you're there to explore and see like any and all potential matches within the house to find your perfect match. For everyone to kind of lock in on day one and be upset if you score someone else, yes, it's a hit to the ego and it must very much hurt. But Daniel was doing too much for me in that moment. Next, we see Clayton give Sandy a 10. We head over to Sandy. She gives Louis a 9, gives Clayton a 10. Louis, again, his ego was hurt. At the end, we find out that Clayton and Sandy are the winners. They didn't score this by couple. They actually scored it by individual. And so they go on a date and then they're next in the boardroom. So obviously Louis is not happy, but overall it was a kind of interesting episode. More interesting, I think, than episode 2, but you're going to have those kind of filler episodes. But what do you guys think? What do we think of Clayton so far? What do we think of Sandy? Do you think that they're going to eventually explore connection in the later episodes? What do we think of Daniel kind of being a little too much for Lucy? It's too messy. It's too much for me. Pop off in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of that episode. I think it was a lot better than episode 2. I feel like episode 2 was more of a filler episode, but I mean, it was good nonetheless. I do enjoy getting to see these compatibility challenges because I think you get to know more your partner, and not just your partner, more of the people that you are sharing a house with. And so I'm enjoying it. I really do love Perfect Match. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll catch you later for another update for the Love Island USA Season 7 cast members. What are they doing now? They are booked and blessed. Happy Tuesday. Have a great one, and we'll see you later. Bye.